For Memorial Day, my girlfriend and I took off work for a beach vacation. It was everything we needed. Plenty of sun, fresh air, warm water, and, of course, some killer parties. One night, we were at this club for hours. We met this couple who seemed to really dig us, and were just looking for someone to party with. Eventually, when the club got stale, the couple, their names were BJ and Erica, invited us over to their place for the after party. My girlfriend was hesitant, but I was dead set on going. BJ and Erica helped to convince her too. They said they had a penthouse right on the beach. Since she was outnumbered, my girlfriend eventually caved and agreed to go. BJ and Erica's penthouse turned out to be exactly what they said it would be. Unfortunately, that's where the opulence and luxury ended. BJ and Erica, as decent as they seemed in public, completely unmasked once we got behind closed doors. All of a sudden, they withheld everything from us. The drinks, the smokes. We didn't get anything from them but death glares. I had no idea what the hell was going on. If it was something we had done, or if they had gone too hard, or what. Before I could understand anything, we were being accused of stealing.
So, when are you gonna tell me, bitch?
Excuse me?
Don't act innocent, you fat skank. Where's my purse?
I don't have your purse, but I can help you look for it.
Why bother? Just tell me where it is.
Why do you think she took it?
Oh, so you do have it.
No!
Hey, that purse had our card and our bag and everything else you freeloaders have been mooching off us all night. You saw that and you took it. It's pretty simple. So, one of you better fess up or I'll have to beat it out of you.
That's it. I don't care anymore. We're leaving. And obviously, neither of us are wearing your stupid purse right now, so you can just let us leave and find wherever you left it without us.
You two aren't going anywhere until you find my purse.
Yeah? And how are you gonna stop us? That was probably the dumbest thing I could have said. Without hesitation, the crazy bitch ran toward the kitchen and grabbed a knife. Wherever the exit was in that rat's nest, we had to find it together. We kept running, as Erica chased us down the halls, cackling the whole way. Out of options, we ducked into a random bathroom and locked ourselves inside. It didn't help that BJ and Erica were banging on the door almost immediately. My girlfriend couldn't take it anymore. She fell back against the wall farthest from the door and slid all the way to the ground, curling into a ball. I felt terrible, knowing I'd convinced her to come here. I had to reassure her that I would find us a way out of this. I went over to her, crouched down to her level, and made sure she was looking into my eyes. Don't worry, baby. Everything's going to be...
All yours, sweetie.
If I could begin to be half of what you think of me, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love. When I see the way you act, wondering when I'm coming back, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like you.
Oh, babe, you'll never guess what I just found. My purse. It was under the bed this whole time. I must have dropped it when we got home. How silly of me.
Do you have any idea what we've done? We're screwed! Don't you get it? Screwed!
Calm down, BJ. It can't be that bad.
Look at them! They're dead!
I know. I knew that. It's fine.
Fine! What are we gonna do?
Go. Get your power tools. It's time to take out the trash. Bye-bye, airhead.
This Memorial Day story happened on May 25th of 2002. The Sifrits, both 24 at the time, met another couple, Joshua Ford and Martha Crutchley, who were vacationing from Fairfax, Virginia. After a night of partying together at the Secrets nightclub in Ocean City, Maryland, the two couples went back to the Sifrits condominium. The Sifrits claimed that Ford and Crutchley stole Erica's purse, and Erica pulled a gun on the couple. After retreating to the bathroom, Ford was fatally shot 4 times through the door with Erica's gun. Crutchley was also taken out. Investigators believe she was stabbed, but an official cause of death could not be determined from her remains. The purse was found underneath their bed after Ford and Crutchley were taken out. The bodies were then dismembered and disposed of in a grocery store dumpster. The remains were transferred to a nearby landfill, where they were recovered by searchers 9 days later. My family recently moved into a new neighborhood. We're renting a small, semi-detached house on a quiet street. See, I must have been switched at birth, because while I'm extremely introverted, my parents are both loud, annoying extroverts who love to throw huge parties at every opportunity. I've grown accustomed to it, though, and found ways of mitigating the disturbance it causes me. The new neighbors, however, were in for a nasty shock. In the first few weeks, the complaints started out minor. Several times they tried banging on the shared living room wall during the middle of a party to signal that we were being too loud. Everyone heard it, and they all knew what it meant, but they didn't care. When that didn't work, the bangings started coming to the door. My parents would answer it and be asked to keep the noise down. The initial face-to-face encounters were somewhat cordial, but it didn't last. Within a month, my parents and our neighbors were having near-nightly shouting matches. They threw every colorful word they had in their vocabularies at each other, including threats. Of course, the first threats came from the neighbors, saying they would report us to the landlord, then the city, then the cops. But when each of those institutions failed to evict us for the crime of being noisy, the threats became direct and violent.
Hey, open this door so I can smash that piece of shit stereo!
Back off or I'll break your goddamn neck!
Over time, both sides became increasingly petty. Then Memorial Day came around. There was nothing special about this holiday in particular, except that it was an upcoming reason to throw a party while tensions were at their absolute height. My parents, wanting to get back at the neighbor, made it a point to throw the loudest, most intentionally obnoxious party yet. They invited all their friends and family, even the people they didn't even like, set up a bunch of games in the yard, and bought enough liquor to get everyone incontinently drunk. Since this was an everybody party, I wasn't allowed to just hide in my room the whole time either. I had to be out and about, braving the noise and overwhelming number of people for hours. Except it didn't last that long. My parents' plan to get our neighbor more pissed off than he'd ever been worked brilliantly. It worked a little too well. Within an hour or two, he came pounding on the door, but this time, he actually managed to break the deadbolt clean out of the frame. The entire party went dead silent and turned their attention as my dad went to confront him.
What the hell is wrong with you? You're gonna pay for that? I know you're doing it on purpose, asshole. I can hear everything.
Then why are you listening to us, huh?
Stay out of this, you old bitch. Hey, watch your mouth, punk.
Out of nowhere, my dad threw a fist at the guy's face. It landed, but he took it like it was nothing. Then went in on my dad. They were beating the shit out of each other in front of everyone. A solid 10 seconds passed before anyone even wanted to get in. But then my drunk relatives finally intervened and separated them. They were both still yelling and screaming death threats at each other as they were being held back. Both were bleeding pretty bad, too. With the party at a definite downturn, I took my opportunity to slip away into my room unnoticed. I put my noise-canceling earbuds in. Before long, though, I thought I heard the party resuming with the loudest noise ever that punched right through my barriers. Then, it was absolute silence. Confused, I took off all my noise-canceling crap, but I was genuinely shocked when it was still quiet. I heard the neighbor's door slam, then the faint sound of screaming, slowly getting quieter. This I had to see. I hopped out of bed, opened my door, and entered the living room, ready to ask what was going on. But then I saw for myself. Everyone was gone. At least, everyone left that was still alive. The entire house was destroyed. My mom and dad were dead. There were massive holes missing from their chests, and their blood and shreds of flesh had been sprayed over every square inch of the room. The neighbor, that noise, it was him coming back after the fight. He always said he had a shotgun, but I never believed him, and nobody at the party tried to stop him. They all ran away, leaving my parents to be murdered, abandoning me in the dreadful silence. He got what he always wanted. I crept back into my room, where I called the police and waited for help. Ever since then, Memorial Day will forever only mean one thing to me. This story was inspired by a Memorial Day party dispute, which depicts a violent feud in Michigan between neighbors Kenneth and Christina and the Perryman family. The conflict stemmed from escalating issues involving loud parties, property boundary disputes, and generally unruly behavior, which ultimately turned fatal, resulting in a shooting. The feud involved a quiet street that became a battleground after a boisterous family moved in next to the original homeowners. Issues included loud music, garbage in the yard, and personal harassment, such as threats and spitting. These disputes escalated over time, with the last straw being a loud, contentious Memorial Day party that resulted in a violent confrontation. The escalating conflict led to a shooting, with reports indicating it resulted in a fatal or nearly fatal street battle.
Living in Long Island gets expensive, so I'm renting a room out of a house with 3 other tenants. Upstairs with me, there are 2 college students. Then down in the basement is the reason the rent is so cheap. His name's John. He's at least 50 years old, and for whatever reason he's too messed up in the head to live on his own. If the landlord wasn't his daughter, he'd be homeless, but she lets him take up the whole basement, probably for free. I assumed she was just helping her dad out. At first, the place was good enough, but over time, I began regretting the move. The other tenants and I were barely home, between work and school and all our other obligations. But since John didn't work or do much for himself, he was always there. As nice as it was to be in the common area, it was a trap. John would invariably find an excuse to sit next to me or crowd around me. He simply couldn't mind his own business down in the giant basement he had all to himself. Eventually, we all grew accustomed to living in our bedrooms, only coming out to use the bathroom, cook, or get in and out of the house. Our pets kept a bit more freedom, as John didn't bother them too much. But when it came to us, he never got the hint. Almost every night, he would ask us if we wanted to all come down to the basement and watch a movie in his room. Mind you, he was again at least 50. Thankfully, all our doors had separate locks. Otherwise, it would have been much harder to hide from him. And I'm positive my underwear drawer would not have been safe. I actually caught him trying to sneak into the other tenants' rooms while they were away, never seeming that ashamed of it. I really wanted to report him to the landlord, but seeing as that was her father, I was worried it would only get me kicked out. Speaking of a lack of shame though, the fact that there was only one shared bathroom was the source of everyone's deepest hatred for John. I don't know how it went for the others, but for me, I could expect him waiting outside the door after every single trip. He'd always act like it was pure coincidence that he had to use it at the same time.
Oh, hey, John.
Hi, Ariana. Was it a productive trip?
You know, I'd prefer not to say.
Number 1 or number 2?
John.
Oh no, are you not feeling well? Was it number 3?
God, for an old creep, you sure are a child.
I'm young at heart. Now, is it my turn?
Knock yourself out.
I'm not kidding either. He had some kind of kink for smelling the bathroom after people left it. He would make comments about our diet, our cycles, our aim, whichever applied, and destroyed any semblance of privacy we had left in that house. Unsurprisingly, after nearly a year, I was ready to leave, but John wasn't finished with me yet. When Memorial Day came up, the other 2 tenants both went home to visit their families. I honestly should have done the same, but I decided to hang back with my pets. It had been months since John and I were alone in the house together for that long. because I was completely taken aback by how bold he became on Memorial Day.
Ariana! There's a rock down here!
The things he was saying were outright disgusting. He'd been creepy and weird before, but this was just harassment. Or worse. I don't even know what to call it. And I sure as hell didn't know how to react to it. So I just kept my door shut and tried to ignore it. That night, I struggled to fall asleep, forced to listen to the sound of him banging against the walls downstairs and screaming his lungs out. In the middle of the night, I woke up to the smoke alarm. I could smell it immediately, too. This wasn't a false alarm. The smoke was already creeping into my room. I looked around for my pets, but neither of them had been sleeping with me. They had to be out there. I frantically grabbed the essentials from my nightstand and rushed out to the common area. I was hoping to save my pets, but in an instant, I knew it was a lost cause. I was hit with a wall of thick black smoke and a searing heat that made me feel like my skin was already melting off. I managed to get reoriented in the chaos, turning back around and going back to my room, where there were still a few breaths of clean air left. I opened my window and climbed out, finally reaching safety. Firefighters were on their way, but it took them hours to extinguish the blaze. In the end, my dog and my cat both died in the fire. According to the police, John started the fire. He started it in the basement. Then he escaped safely while the entire house burned. I could have easily died with my pets. The other tenants weren't home, thank God. But everything we own, our entire lives, it was all destroyed on Memorial Day. Police say a Plainview man has been arrested for arson following a fire that occurred on Memorial Day. Officers in the fire department responded to a residence for reports of a fire. It was determined that Jahan Kia, 40, a tenant of the residence, was responsible for starting a fire on the basement stairwell and was placed in custody. There were no residents inside, but 2 dogs and 1 cat were found deceased inside the home due to the fire. 2 firefighters suffered injuries as a result of the fire and were transported to the hospital. Ariana Belfort gathered what she could from the home she shared with her 3 children. She says the home had 3 units and says Kia was the only one there when the fire started. Kia was released from police custody following his arraignment. Tuesday afternoon, he was released with an ankle monitor and ordered to undergo a mental health evaluation.